This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hi everyone. Today we will be discussing about Azure App Services. So till now we have discussed about infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service means you will be having something like this, no? Like you will be having one region, In that you will be having something like three availability zones. And in that you will be creating your VMs. Means if it is a Linux VM or Windows VM, we will be creating something. Let us assume I have created some Linux VM. Okay, this is my Linux VM, and this is the infrastructure as a service. Now, if I want to deploy my application, no, then I have to install some runtime environment. Okay, if it is a runtime environment, no, it will be something like a Java or .NET or Python or Golang, anything. So whenever I install some runtime environment, right, that will become as a platform. So it will enable the user to execute some code. Okay. So there is a till now, right, if you take the virtual machines, right, that is an infrastructure as a service. Now we'll discuss about something like a platform as a service. Platform as a service means you will be getting the runtime environment as well. Means in the same example, you don't need to do anything. So just what you have to do, right, in any platform as a service, first job is pick region. You have to just pick the region. So you will be having what the cloud provider will give you, right? Cloud provider will spin the runtime environments with some versions like Java 8, Java 11. Okay, if it is a .NET, no, they will have something like 4.3, 4.8, right? They will have a pre-built infrastructure which has the runtime environment. As a developer, what you have to do, right, you have to just go and execute. That's it. If it is a DB, you will be having the DB installed, everything. Just you enter the username, password, and login and create tables. That's it. Okay. So you have to pick the region and select environment. That's it. So if I go to Azure portal, if I log into the Azure portal, you will be having something like Azure App Services. You'll be having app services. No, you are having something like app services. In this UI, basically you will be creating the runtime environment. First we'll understand what is the, we'll have some theory over here. Okay, so what is Azure App Services? Basically it is a HTTP based service for hosting the web applications. So these are basically built on something like .NET Core, .NET Core, Java, Ruby, and all those. So these will be pre-built environments that will be provided by the cloud provider, and underlined infrastructure is either it can be like Windows or Linux. So they will be giving you an option to select the environment. Like if you want to install Java, I can install the Java. If I want to run an application which is built on Java or Python, no, so basically I can run the application in Windows or Linux because it is compatible with both. So I have to choose, I should be choosy whether I want to run it on Windows or Linux. Okay, so basically why we need this app service means it supports like multiple languages and frameworks. Like you don't need to basically, right, you don't need to spin any, you don't need to install any a runtime environment and configure the environment variables to make it work. Nothing should be done, just to use the environment. Okay, and underlined infrastructure, right, that is managed by the Azure only. Means if I'm running some application, okay, I will write something like this. Okay, now I am running one application. Okay, if it is a VM, right, there is a limitation, like if the resources are consumed like 70% or 80% the VM is like utilized, then we don't know what to do. Whereas this app service, it will scale automatically in the backend. So Azure will take care of scaling activity. Yesterday we have done some virtual machine scale set, where we have done some configuration to increase the number of virtual machines. But that headache we don't need to take care. Azure will take care of, if the load increases in the backend, they will spin the infrastructure, they will do anything, they will do the required stuff. We don't need to bother. Okay, you can run the container like now you have Docker and Kubernetes, right? So you can run this Kubernetes and the Docker applications in the a in the app service. And there is something like DevOps optimization. In DevOps, now you will be having some tools like GitHub. Okay, so you can integrate Git to this app service. Means what, if you have some Git URL, okay, if you configure that URL in your Azure, in the app service, automatically the code will be deployed and the application will be launched. So we will see this as demo. Okay, so basically, and one more thing, right, it will be like a highly available and large scalable. Means as the infrastructure, underlying infrastructure is managed by the Azure, right, we no need to bother. They will take care of the increasing the capacity as the load increases. Okay, so actually it connects to the SaaS platforms on the on-premises data also. And it will have some integration with the Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code integration. Basically, right, this can be integrated with these IDS such that if you deploy the code, automatically the code will get synced over here. Basically, it will support Windows based apps, Linux based apps, Docker containers, mobiles, and the functions. Function is something like you can execute single piece of code. Okay, so what we will do now, right, we will go to these app services. Now what I will do, right, basically there are two ways you can create this. Okay, first thing is you can create via UI, and second way is like you can create via command line also. First we'll check via UI. So I'm creating a new create a new web app. Okay, what I'm doing now, I'm selecting something like, okay, I'm selecting something like new resource group. I will be selecting, this as app. Okay, I'm selecting the resource group. I'm creating a new resource group, and basically this is the name. Okay, whenever you created an instance in Azure, normally we used to get the public IP, correct? We used to launch the application, or like you used to log into that VM and install that application. That was the process. Here, right, that headache won't be there. You no need to log into that machine and install. Directly you will be getting the endpoint. Endpoint means the URL. Okay, you will be directing get the URL. So if you see here, there is something like Azure websites.net. Okay, this would be the constant domain which will be attached to any app. Okay, predefined is this one. So if you want to create something now, this is the custom name, and Azure will add this name to it. So there won't be any IP given to you. Once the app is deployed, you can access this application using this URL. So this one and this one will form as one URL. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, the deployment can happen in two modes. Okay, one is via code and one is via Docker container. Okay, if it is via Docker container, I can select whether it is like Linux or Windows. If it is a code, I have to select the environment. As I mentioned, these are the compatible versions that Azure supports. If I select here, it is supporting the .NET. Okay, it is supporting Java, and it is supporting some Node.js. Okay, it is supporting PHP, it is supporting Python. Okay, if you see the Python version, we don't have any 2.8, means the deprecated Python version has been removed. Okay, so if you want to deploy an application with Python 2.7, no, that is not possible. So you have to be choosy on whatever the Azure provides, and it supports something like Ruby also. Now what I will do, right, I will just select the ASP.NET 4.8. Okay, I'm selecting some 4.8 .NET, and I am choosing some Windows operating system. Okay, ASP.NET is this one, right? It is Windows based, no? So that's why Linux is not available. So I am selecting the Windows. Now the core concept remains the same. So in which region you want to spin? Either it is like if you are spinning a VM, or if you are spinning the web app, you should select like which region you want to spin. So today I will select something like Asia Pacific, Central India. Okay, I will select something like Central India. Okay, and there is something like a plan. Okay, Windows plan. Okay, here I will show this one again. Okay, so for now, right, it will create a plan. There will be different types of plans. I will explain that one, but here this is just a drop down which you will be selecting the plan. If you don't have a plan, you will be creating the plan. Basically, right, if you are creating 10 apps, okay, if you are creating a 10 apps, no, then we can, for costing and all those, right, we'll bundle everything under one plan. Here also in resource group also, what we are doing, we are mapping all the resources to whatever we create, no, into one resource group, no. In the same way, here what you will do, right, all your you will bundle all your plans under one category. Okay, here, right, there will be something like SKUs size. Okay, here basically it tells about the configuration we select. Okay, now I can change the setting. If I change the setting now, here there will be different types of options that will be available. One is dev test. So as part of dev test, now I will be given 1 GB RAM. Means whatever the code which I am deploying now, for that unit 1 GB RAM will be allocated. For that, if I'm deploying a jar, for that 1 GB RAM will be selected. Here now we can select like different provisions, no. So here we have 1 GB, here we have like 1.75 GB. If I go to the production category, I will be having like higher versions. So here I'm having something like 3.5 GB. Okay, if I scroll down, no, if I go to additional options, I will be having some 7 GB RAM. Okay, 7 GB memory. Okay, and it will give the cost also. So and you will have something like isolated, for which you will be charged something like more. Okay, for us our lab purposes, right, we can select basically like 1 GB or like 1.5 GB. That should be fine. Else, right, you no need to change whatever that has been suggested by the Azure. That should be sufficient. Okay, now I will go to the deployment review. Here I no need to change anything. Okay, and I'm clicking on monitoring. Here also I no need to change anything basically. Okay, I no need, I can select as insights, no. Okay, I can select review and create. Okay, now the validation will happen. Once the validation is passed, right, then I can create my app. So the deployment for this app is in progress. Once the app gets created, no, you will be getting one endpoint. Endpoint in the sense like one URL you will be getting. We'll wait for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, hi Vikram.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we'll complete the lab, then you ask, like maybe
Sure.
if you have any doubt, right, this will get cleared once we do the lab. Okay. If you see here, no, here we are not getting any IP. If you create any VM, right, we used to get some IP and all. Now if you see, right, whatever the app service which I gave, no, like with some name, app service demo 1 2, this is what we got, and it is HTTPS, it is an encrypted one. Okay, but whenever we created a machine in that, when we installed the IIS server, right, it is launched on HTTP. So by default you are getting this HTTP. Yes, now I will be launching the app. Okay, if I click here, no, I got some URL. So I got some text because this is the template that is being provided by the Azure. Okay, so if I click on this quick start guide, I will be having some options. If I go to deployment, no, here you will be having some code. Basically it will have some instructions to create an app using command line. Okay, that we will see. I want to just preserve it. Hmm, okay, okay, I will see. Yeah, give me a minute. Okay, here, no, I am having this URL. So when I launched this app service, now I'm getting this one. Okay, I'm getting this page. We'll go through some options. Okay, this is the activity log. This activity log will tell you the like what are the happenings or what are the updates that are being happened to this particular app. Okay, we'll park this IAM and all those. Okay, we'll go to something like deployment. Okay, in deployment, no, you will be having some options to create an app for Java. Okay, and there will be something like deployment slots. Okay, and you will be having something like deployment center. Okay, the interesting thing is like this is the where I am interested. So in this deployment center, you have some integration. Okay, previously I told, no, there will be something like DevOps optimization or customization. If I go to deployment center, I can deploy my code from this stuff. Means if my code is present in some Dropbox or OneDrive or external Git repository, or Azure will be having some repository, or if it is a local Git, Bitbucket or GitHub, no, basically you can do your, you can integrate this stuff and you can launch your application. Okay, for now if you see, if I launch this site, no, what is happening? If I launch this site, I am getting this URL. Okay, now I want to deploy this. I want to deploy one application on this URL. Okay, so for that, no, here I'm having some, actually I'm having some Git over here. Okay, I think everyone will be is familiar about the Git, no. In this Git, no, what I will be doing, no, I'm copying the code. Here I'm getting the URL of the Git. Okay, what I will be doing, right, I will be doing a manual deployment. I'm not going to do the CI/CD and all those. For our lab purposes, what I will do now, I will give the external Git URL. Means I have to provide my, this is my external Git URL. From where we got this external Git? We got it from the GitHub. Normally whenever you go to GitHub, right, then based on the environment, based on the project, you know, you will be having one code option. Whenever you click, right, you will be getting some URL. Basically you will be cloning your project using this URL only, no. So I have copied that one and I have copy pasted over here, and I am giving something like main. This is the main branch. So you can be more specific also, like if you put your GitHub, no, you can specify like which branch, you can mention the branch also. So using that branch, the code will be deployed. For now I am selecting the main branch, and what I will be doing now, I'm clicking on the save. Okay, when I click on save, what happens, right? The Azure will try to connect to this GitHub, this external repository, and try to fetch the code, whatever the HTML you have. Right here you're having some HTML and you're having some CSS pages as part of this project. Okay, so what will basically happen, no, this GitHub is pulling that code, and if you see, right, we are getting one option like disconnect, means already the GitHub is connected to this and it will pull this code from this particular repository. Okay, and it will automatically deploy. Okay, basically if you have some there is one more option, right? If you have some if your uh, code is present in some FTP, no, you can give your code over here. But for now, right, what happened, right, Azure is trying to connect to the Git repository, and in the backend it is already performing some operations and deploying the code. So this is the, not this, okay, this is the page which I have deployed. No, I will do a refresh. If the code gets deployed, no, see, the code automatically got deployed and the website is launched. This is the custom website which I have integrated from here. Okay, in this repository I have got some, it's, I have cloned it from some git repository, and what I am doing, I am deploying my code. Basically whenever I give my configuration over here, no, automatically the code got deployed into the service. Now it is accessible for everyone. So if I want to this, if I want to deploy this on a particular virtual machine, no, first what I have to do, I have to create a virtual machine, then I have to install some .NET on top of it, and then I have to install some ISS or some application server on top of it, right? I have to deploy my application. So these were the steps which we have to do if we create a VM. But now just what I did, I just integrated my external GitHub to the Azure. Automatically the code got deployed and I was able to see the application. It happened in a minutes, no, without human intervention. It happened. Clear? So here, no, you will be having some configurations. Basically, if you want to do some, like if it is a DB or something, no, you will be having some connection strings, no, to connect it to the DB. So if you want to connect to this, right, you can use this connection stream, and you can use the DB which you want to connect and fetch the data or replicate the data, whatever. So like if you want to do updates and all those, no, to this particular app service, no, you can connect via using this connection strings that is available in this configuration. And you will be having some settings like HTTPS only, and by default it is having. But if you want to have any certificates to be, if you want to have your own certificate, no, you can buy one certificate and map it over here. Okay, and if you want to do any securities related settings for this particular app, no, that can be done using here. And you will be having some networking, where you can integrate this to a virtual network. Okay, you can create some for this app, right? It is a basically app, that one you can move to your virtual network, and you can do the configuration. Okay, something like that. Okay, there is something like scale up and scale out, no. So as I mentioned, no, yesterday we are having some features, no, like scale in and scale out. So based on the load or something, no, here we are having some options for scale up and scale out. Scale up means like increasing. Now it is set to 1. Okay, instance count is also 1. If I go to the custom scale, now if I select some custom scale, okay, you will be having some other options like what is the minimum, what is the maximum, what is the default, and you can select what is the scaling mode. Okay, based on on a particular metric you want to do, something like that. You will be having options. Okay, I'm not going to touch these all because these are all bit advanced. Okay, and there will be something like web jobs. Web jobs is something. Now I have an application. Now I am having some Java program, or I'm having some bat. Okay, I want some bat. I have written some bat on my desktop and I want to run it in cloud. Okay, those things can be added here. Okay, so web cannot. Okay. Basically, I have integrated to Git, no, so it is not allowing. Basically, right here you will be having one browse option where you can select your bat file. Okay, and if it is a MySQL in app, no, you will be having some configurations over here. So yeah, basically whenever you do these integrations, no, directly the application will be launched without your human intervention. I didn't even deploy also, it automatically picked from the Git and it spinned, it executed and it deployed. Okay, this is one way. Okay, this is done via UI. Actually, if I go here, no, I can do the same job via command line also. Okay, if I want to install some Java app or Tomcat app, right, I can use this procedure. The deployment procedure will be present in this one. Actually, you will be having something like a deployment, and you will be having the corresponding platform, whether it is a ASP.NET, Java, or Node.js, or PHP, or Python. So these 5 categories have been provided, and basically I'm interested in this one. Before going to this, right, command line execution, anyone has doubts?
Yeah, Vikram. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vikram. Am I audible?
Yes. Tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, Vikram, if we want to deploy some web apps like some 10 or something like at a time,
You can create multiple.
manually, I think we have to. Okay.
So if you are deploying different means, if you want to deploy unique apps, right, you can create multiple apps over here in app service. If you want in the backend to scale automatically, I told, no, you are having some option like a scale up and scale out option. Using this scale up and
Okay.
scale up plan, you can configure it such that you no need to touch it.
Yeah.
This will increase, the capacity
Yeah.
will increase and decrease.
Yeah, with the same configuration, with the same
Yeah,
configuration,
no,
same
no, there is
runtime,
something like,
and yeah.
yeah. If it gets full, no, then it will launch 1 GB, one more. Okay, number of
Okay. Okay.
jars or instances. Okay, okay.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
we'll go with the this one. So basically, what I will do, right? I think like I'm done with this one. I will be deleting it. Okay, okay. I'm deleting. I can stop, restart. We have like virtual machine, no, how we are having some options to stop this app or start the app, or if you want to restart, right, you can do it over here. Okay, what I will do, right, I will stop this app and I will be deleting this. For deleting, it will ask me to select yes. Basically it will help us to avoid that infrastructure creation also, environment sorry, runtime environment creation also. Just to deploy your code automatically, you can launch your application. When it is with integrated with CI/CD and GitHub, no, it will be more useful. Like you don't need to do anything, automatically the applications will be launched. Okay, now I don't have anything. Okay, this is the steps we will follow. Basically what you have to do, right, first you have to create a Java app. Okay, before that, right, I have to take you to one service. Here you will be having something like a Cloud Shell. So this will enable the command line provision to the Azure. Okay, if you see here, right, what it will do, right, it will basically create a terminal for you, like it will provide two. Basically it will provide a PowerShell is for Windows, okay, and you will be having a bash is for Linux. Okay, so it will provide both, and here you will have option to like restart it. Okay, now what I will do, right, I will follow the same steps what that has been provided over here. Okay, so at the end of the creation, right, you will be able to launch something like this. So you will be having one page with hello world or some content. The same thing will be accessed via with your app name. Okay, with your app name followed by the Azure websites.net. Okay, and there is some option to integrate with like you, if you have some toolkit for Eclipse or IntelliJ, right, you can integrate it over here, and you can deploy the application from your there itself. Okay, so what I will be doing now, I will be cloning this app. Basically this will have all the necessary configuration. Okay, this Git repository will have all the code, okay, to build the application. Okay, now what I have done, right, it is just a copy paste. Okay, maybe I have, one second, I will delete the existing stuff. Okay, okay, it's already there, I believe, that's why you got. Okay, now I will be cloning this Git. Basically now it will download everything from here. Okay, now if I give ls, we got this one. Okay, I doubt it will take a lot of time. Basically I will delete this M2 also, because this is the place where your Maven repository will be present. Okay, all the code will be, all the jars and everything will be accumulated here. So I have deleted it. Now I will execute this command. Okay, now if you see, right, it has cloned something, it has cloned, and it has created one directory. Okay, next what I have to do, right, I have to change the directory to this one. Okay, if I go here now, I will be having some like this is the basically it has having some pom.xml. Okay, if I open that pom.xml now, it will be having all the like all the jars and the versions. So what are the packages that are required, these are part of this pom.xml, and basically it will download all the packages which are mentioned in this pom.xml. Okay, for running the application. So if I want to run this application, no, I should have some jars, no, that will be part of this pom.xml which I have downloaded. Okay, now what I will be doing, right, I will be configuring the Maven plugin. So this is the command which they have already given. Just I will be copy pasting over here. Now this you will have this repository is being downloaded. It will take some time, it will take 5-10 minutes. Now it will down, based on our pom.xml, no, it will download the necessary packages. It will take a while. Okay, basically we have to do some settings. Okay, like we have to select your subscription. Okay, basically, right, you will be getting some options like this in the next, right? Once all the code gets executed, all the code gets downloaded, no, you will be getting that some options like this. You will be having some subscription ID. Okay, in that you will be having some, this is the app name. Okay, and it will be asking us to select the subscription, whether you want to create a web app. Okay, you have to click on create, and you have to select the operating system, whether you want Linux or Windows. There will be two options over here. So here also, likewise in UI, you selected operating system, that is the first thing, and you selected the instance type. Now you selected something like 1 GB or 1.7 GB, 2 GB. So there is something like a price tier. We have to select a B2, and you have to select your runtime. So the same thing you did via UI also. You selected the Java 8 version. In that, the JVM is something like a 1 GB or like something. Okay, this is basically the category. Okay, and you will be selecting the operating system. So it will take some time. And in the command line itself, you will be getting the app ID. So you no need to specifically create via UI. Once the configuration is done, everything is done, no, automatically in the backend itself, you will be seeing the UI, sorry, that URL for logging into the app. So it is a backend process. If you want to deploy the code and if you want to run it via this Cloud Shell, no, you can use this one. Okay. So these many dependencies are there for creating that application. So it is downloading these many packages. So if you see some Jackson and Wood, right, these are the applications that are required to run that static page. It is downloading JBoss, Eclipse packages, binaries, and this is a one-time job. Once the packages gets loaded, no, all the packages will be stored in the .m2 folder. I have deleted that .m2 folder, no, so that's why it is creating newly. Okay, else, right, it will pick that jar from that particular directory and it will directly load. So for you to like show from scratch, no, I have deleted that directory. If I add that directory, you won't see these much. Directly straightforward, that code will be executed. So first these binaries or this libraries will be copied, and using this one the application will be built.
Victor, Marvel for
I didn't get, your voice is breaking. Can you type in the chat window?
okay, Marvel for which one? Like Git or
This is Maven from Maven repository. It is downloading for building this application. So for building this application, no, to deploy this application, it is creating this one because I have selected Java as environment, no. So Java should be installed on top of it. No, you will be having this. Okay, looks like here I told, no, now you are at the final stage. Okay, so it is showing my subscription ID. and it is showing my username. Okay, and it is asking me to select the operating system. I want to run my Java on my Linux, so I am selecting one. Okay, these are the pricing tier. So each pricing tier will have different that memory. Okay, I will be selecting the B2. I can select anything, but this is the basic tier. Okay, so what I will be selecting now, this is the minimum. I will be selecting the B2. By default this is asking for P1 V1, but I will select the option 2. Okay, now it is asking me to select the environment. I have chosen Java no, as part of the code. So it is asking me to select the Java version. I am selecting something like Java 8. I can choose Java 11 also. Okay, I am choosing the Java 8 and clicking on enter. Okay, enter your choice one. I should check one. Okay, now it is asking me to deploy to slot. Okay, I'm clicking on Y. So basically what will happen, right? This will be deployed to slot. Okay, now you will be having another option over here. So if you want to deploy that app, no, basically you have to authenticate from command line. Okay, so there is a chance like I'm a user. Okay, I don't have privileges to authenticate deploy that app. I can build the app, but I can't deploy. So in that case, no, the person who is having that credential or the authority will be authorized to deploy it, right? Or something like that, right? So I have to click something like this. For Linux, no, automatically the authentication will happen. So basically what you have to do, right? Normally you have to do the authentication, but here no, you have to select this URL, then you will be getting this one. Here you will be asked to enter some code. If you are performing some deployment, no, you should have you will click yes, no, or do you confirm you want to perform the deployment. Like that you will be having some options, right? Like that you have to enter the code over here. Okay, boss, 1 second. I have to enter the code. Okay, then I have to click on next. Now the authentication will happen. Okay, now okay, yeah, now we can close the window. Okay, I have logged into this command line. Okay, now I'm clicking on cancel. I'm closing this. Now if you see here, no, once the authentication is completed, right, it is giving me something like cloud name Azure Cloud. Okay, my details like my ID. Okay, and it is giving some subscription details of that particular user of mine. Okay, now this is done. Now we have to give this one to deploy that Java app. Okay, once this is deployed, no, then you will be having, it will be creating one URL for you to see the application. Basically in prior steps, no, we have compiled the code. Okay, and now we are deploying. I think something is, it is loading. It will take a while. Basically you are having some Tomcat, no, so on top of Java it is building some Tomcat. In the Tomcat it is deploying this application that is happening in the background to launch that website. Here if you see, right, in UI we have created some service plan. Now it is creating the app service plan. It has created the app service plan, okay, and it is something like this, and it is creating a web app. So for a web app we will be having one name. Now here it has created with the Spring Boot with some number, okay. It is doing all the operations which we did from UI. Before that it compiled all the code and it has built that. Okay, so it is trying to like let's wait for 2-3 minutes. Is almost done. Yeah, this is the URL. It has created this URL. If I click on this URL, no, this is the backend way. See, when I clicked it, right, I should have the app running. Something I should get. Okay, it is just launched now only, no. Let's wait. Okay, but this is done now. Now if I go back and if I do a refresh over here, no, I should be able to see the app here. Priorly I don't have any app. Okay, but now I'm able to see this app and the state is running and it is deployed in something like West Europe. If I click this one now, that will close the Cloud Shell. So it is, see, greetings from Spring Boot. This greetings from Spring Boot. This is this application has this text embedded. Okay, so same thing. First, right, we have done via UI. Second time now, if you want to do a deployment from the backend with by running some Maven and that one, no, you can go with the second approach. Or if you want to integrate with the external Git factory, or if you want to have your own Git factory, then what you can do, right, you can integrate with the deployments. Here you will be having one option called as in deployments, right, you will be having the integration. So you can select GitHub. For that GitHub hub, right, if you want to authorize, then you have to provide your GitHub credentials. Okay, then you have to select your version and just save. Okay, if it is something like Bitbucket, also same thing. Okay, you have to connect to that Bitbucket by giving your credentials over here. So it will automatically redirect to the Bitbucket where you have to enter your credentials. Okay, if it is a local Git, right, then there will be some different approach. Okay, if you go to this actively log, right, you can see the events what happened. Okay, you can see what happened and you can check the logs over here.